Hari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Gṛhītvāsad-grāhān. Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana. Yamunatiravanachari. Yamunatiravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Gṛhītvāsad-grāhān. Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana. Yamunatiravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari Radha Kunja Bihari Radhe. Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radhe. Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Nitai Gaura Haribal 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 Nitai Gaura Haribal. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudeva Gurudeva Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Vishupad Paramahamsa Paravaragacaya Sota Satta Shishamachila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jaya Vishupad Paramahamsa Paravaragacaya Sota Satta Shishamachila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Sirup Si Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Si Jeev Gopala Bhatta Das Saraghunath Sari Goswami Prabhu ki. प्रेम से कौशि कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद से अद्वैत गदाधर शिवजरि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपा गोपी गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की मैपुर धाम की जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की तुलसी महारानी भक्त देवी के गंगा यमुना देवी के हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ के श्री श्री गौनिताय के श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम के श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर के गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल सामवेद भक्त वृंद के all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, 16th chapter, text number 10. Kāmam aśritya duṣpūraṁ dambha-māna-madānvitāḥ mohād gṛhītvāsad-grāhān pravartante śuci-vratāḥ kāmam aśritya duṣpūraṁ dambha-māna-madānvitāḥ mohād gṛhītvāsad-grāhān pravartante śuci-vratāḥ kāmam aśritya duṣpūraṁ dambha-māna-madānvitāḥ mohād gṛhītvāsad-grāhān pravartante śuci-vratāḥ mohāmam aśritya duṣpūraṁ dambha-māna-madānvitāḥ mohād gṛhītvā-vasad-grāhān Matajis. Kāmam aśritya duṣpūraṁ dambha-māna-madānvitāḥ mohād gṛhītvāsad-grāhān pravartante śuci-vratāḥ. Kāmam, lust, aśritya, taking shelter of, duṣpūraṁ, insatiable, dambha, of pride, mana, and false prestige, mada-anvitāḥ, absorbed in the conceit, mohāt, by illusion, gṛhītvā, taking, asat, nonpermanent, grāhān, things, pravartante, they flourish, aśuci, to the unclean, vratāḥ, avowed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation: taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. Purport: the demoniac mentality is described here. The demons have no satiation for their lust. They will go on increasing and increasing their insatiable desires for material enjoyment. Although they are always full of anxieties on account of accepting non-permanent things, they still continue to engage in such activities out of illusion. They have no knowledge and cannot tell that they are heading the wrong way. Accepting non-permanent things, such demoniac people create their own God, create their own hymns, and chant accordingly. The result is that they become more and more attracted to two things: sex enjoyment and accumulation of material wealth. The word aśuci-vratāḥ, unclean vows, is very significant in this connection. Such demoniac people are only attracted by wine, women, gambling, and meat eating. Those are their aśuci, unclean habits. Induced by pride and false prestige, they create some principles of religion which are not approved by the Vedic injunctions. Although such demoniac people are most abominable in the world, by artificial means the world creates a false honor for them. Although they are gliding toward hell, they consider themselves very much advanced. Om ajnana-timirandasya jnana-salakaya chakshurunmilitam yenam tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya-manobhishtam sthapitam yena bhutale sayam rupa-kadamayam tadati sapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalan Sri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Sirupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parjana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastade Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sade Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Kāmam aśritya duṣpūraṁ dambha-māna-madānvitāḥ mohād gṛhītvāsad-grāhān pravartante śuci-vratāḥ. Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. Krishna is speaking about the demoniac nature here. First, he explained about the divine qualities of The persons who are in the mode of goodness, those who are interested in spiritual life, and now he is explaining the nature of those persons who are in the mode of passion and ignorance, who are not devotees of the Lord. And so here some of the qualities are mentioned in these verses, specifically in this verse. So kāmam, so they're very lusty. They want to enjoy this material world. They're working in order to get some money, and then they want to enjoy the senses in various ways. And here, aśritya, taking shelter of pride and false prestige, dambha. So they have the wrong conception, first of all, that they are this body, and then the concept is there, aham mameti, I and mine. Especially if they are a little bit established in this world, then they are considering that everything is fine, and then naturally the pride is there. Even sometimes you can see, and the saying is also there, the poor person, the pauper, is proud of his penny. And even we can see many times, even persons who have practically nothing, even for example here, those who are living in the street practically, or next to the street, the beggars, sometimes they have just a little something and they become proud of their little belongings. Due to actually illusion, that is complete illusion. But that is a material nature, or that is the conditioned soul, especially the human form of life, when they are overcome by the mode of passion and ignorance, that they become proud of whatever little they have. Qualities, little qualities they may have, and little wealth or something, even something little, and they become proud of that. So and then here further on it is explained. So they are always trying to be glorified, man. They take pleasure when somebody is glorifying themselves. So when somebody is glorifying somebody who doesn't have much, then they feel good. Even actually they are seeking that. And even they will try to impress others so that they will glorify them, they will recognize them. Mad, so that means actually madness. So that is conceited. Prabhupada is writing, absorbed in conceit. Actually in the material world everyone is practically mad. So we know some people, they are put in the place where the mad people are there, a madhouse. And they're usually the people who are mad, so they don't know what they are doing, and actually many of them, they don't know why they're in this position. And even sometimes you may ask a mad person, what is your name? And they will say, I don't know. Because they're mad. They don't know. Even in regards to the existence in this world, so as a human being, one who is normal, he understands that what he should do, what he should not do, to some extent, according to the different cultures, according to the upbringing, so they know to which country they belong. And of course, then everyone has an identity card, and then the name is there. And the family, where they are born. So all this is normal for a human being. They have their identity in this material world. Although it is not the real identity, it is false, it is temporary identity. But if one is mad, he may not even know his name, or where he is coming from, where he was born. That is a mad person. From the point of view of a human being. But from the spiritual point of view, everyone should know that we are the eternal servant of Krishna. Everyone should know that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. If one is not knowing, if one is not endeavoring to realize, then he's practically mad. That is a mad person. So in the material world, everyone is practically mad from the spiritual point of view. They don't know where from they're coming. They don't know that they are the simple thing, that they are not this body, that they are spirit soul. And they don't know what to do and what not to do. They don't know where to go. That is a mad person. So from the spiritual point of view, everyone in the material world is mad. And so Prabhupada also one time said that this material world is like a madhouse. And then the spiritual master is like a psychiatrist. He will try to make the human being, the conditioned soul, understand that actually there's more than just this human form of life, that this human life, that there's a creator, that God is there. And that the aim of life is to go to the spiritual world, the kingdom of God. But for that purpose we have to do something. We have to be engaged in spiritual activities, following some rules and regulations. That is absolutely required. So the spiritual master will direct the conditioned souls. And those who are intelligent, those who are not mad, those who are not crazy, they will accept. And then they will follow the instruction of the spiritual master. So it's like a doctor, the spiritual master, like a psychiatrist. And slowly but surely, those who take shelter of a spiritual master, they will develop some intelligence, some real intelligence, spiritual intelligence, and then they will understand that yes, there is more than just this human form of life. And they will understand that we are different from this body. And then they may engage in spiritual activities, in devotional activities. And by doing that, they become free from kāmam, krodh, lobh, moha, mada, matsarya. Again, here we can, these are the 6 enemies of the conditioned soul, coming from the mind actually. This material lusty desires, trying to enjoy in this material world separately of Krishna. And then if one is not successful, then he becomes angry. That is natural actually. If one is trying to enjoy in this world, if he's not happy, if he's not successful, he becomes angry. But then still he will try to get something from this material world. Lobh, very greedy to get something. So one is the lust, one wants to enjoy, but that he may not be able to, and then he may leave it. But mostly people become angry if they cannot enjoy. But then when again they will try to, by hook or by crook, they will try to enjoy. And that is greed. And then even if they are not successful, they may do something mad. Madness is there. Something crazy. Moha. So everyone is an illusion in this material world. If they do not know that actually we are spirit soul, They are in illusion. Some are more in illusion than others. And then envy. Envious of ultimately the Supreme Lord. If one is not serving Krishna, but only trying to enjoy himself, is ultimately envious of God. And that is manifested in many ways, and then especially also towards others, especially those who are doing well. Then an envious person, when he's seeing that somebody is doing well, he will try to pull him down. So these are common in this material world for the conditioned soul in a human form of life. Of course, even in the animal kingdom, so these are there to some extent in a perverted way, but in the animal kingdom, so that is, of course, to be expected, and they cannot really have such much discrimination as a human being. But some intelligence is there, even in the animals. For example, if a dog is there and he wants to come and he sees you have something to eat, if somebody is sitting somewhere, wherever, on a bench, and then the dogs are there, they will come. They see that the person is eating something. And the person will try to chase away the dog. Even he may hit the dog. But because the dog is seeing something to eat and is completely focused on that, he's seeing the food. And then he will just go there. Even he's beating a few times. So lust is there, and they become angry also at each other, the dogs, they're fighting with each other. So they are in the illusion. But the human beings, they have refined intelligence by ultimately the arrangement of the Lord. In a human form of life, the intelligence is more developed, most developed. But then that intelligence has to be used in order to distinguish more what is good, what is favorable, and especially the intelligence should be used for self-realization, for understanding the purpose of life, for inquiring about the absolute truth, searching for the absolute truth. But then even how to act in this world, so by the intelligence one will know. Because moral codes are there. In every country there are some rules and regulations which the citizens have to follow. And those who are intelligent, they will follow. And again, those who are not intelligent, they will not follow. But then they will be punished. If one is not following the laws of the government, and then usually he will get caught, and then he will be punished. So the laws of material nature are there also. And if one is not following, if one is not abiding by the laws of material nature, he will be punished. Even the child sometimes, even innocent person or a child, if the fire is there, so he will try to touch the fire, he will burn himself. That is a law of nature. Fire is there and it's burning. So the children, their intelligence is not developed. They may touch and they will get burned, but then they may try again to touch and they will get burned again. But those who are grown up, if they are not mad, then they will know, oh yeah, fire is there, I have to be careful. So, an intelligent person, he will take shelter of the scriptures which are there to help the conditioned soul to make advancement in spiritual life, to understand the absolute truth. And the most refined scriptures are the Vedic literatures. And so, as Krishna himself here in Bhagavad Gita is speaking to Arjuna, and he's speaking actually for the benefit of the conditioned souls. And so giving valuable knowledge by which the conditioned soul who is intelligent and who is trying to become free from the miseries of this material world, who is trying to make advancement in spiritual life. So for them, Krishna is giving this guidance in this Bhagavad Gita. But those who are of demoniac nature, as explained in these shlokas here, in these verses here, because of illusion, because of the demoniac tendency which is there, so they are attracted to that which is impermanent, asat. Whereas it is mentioned in scriptures that tamasima jyotirgamayaha, the tamas, so the ignorance, that should be given up and one should go to the light, to the knowledge. So light means knowledge. And asat ma sadgamayaha, asat, that which is impermanent, that should be given up and one should go to the sat, that which is permanent, to the Supreme Lord, Satchidananda Vigraha, Saddhama, to the transcendental abode, to the transcendental realm. And for this we have to accept the eternal religious principle, Saddharma, Nitya Dharma, Paradharma, Vastav Dharma, real religion. That is serving the Supreme Lord ultimately. Mrityu ma amrita gamayaha. Mrityu, we should become free from the cycle of birth and death. Amrita, we should go to Amrit, means to the nectar. Amrit also that which is permanent, beyond birth and death. Mrit is death, Amrit is eternal life, which is like nectar. But those who are illusioned, mohāt, mohit, they are, because of the mode of passion and ignorance, they are attracted to that which is impermanent. Asuci, they are attracted to unclean works, unclean activities, in the mode of ignorance, in the mode of passion. And actually also it is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Vedic literature, that lust, if one is trying to satisfy lust, he will never be satisfied. But it will increase more and more. If one is lying, even sometimes a gentleman or even sometimes a devotee, he knows he should not lie and he will try not to do so, but sometimes still, due to circumstances, he may lie. But then once you lie, and then to cover up the lie, then another lie is required. And then again, another lie. And some persons are there just lying and lying and lying. But that has to be avoided. Satyam, one should speak the truth. One should be truthful. And one should approach the absolute truth, that is the Supreme Lord. So aśuci, as a devotee also know, we should be always clean, śuci. in consciousness, in one's habit, the environment, and our behavior. So everything should be clean. So in the material world, the three modes of material nature are there: sattva-gun, rajagun, and tamagun. Mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So we have to know the symptoms of the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, and we should try to be in the mode of goodness. One should try to give up the mode of passion and the mode of ignorance with knowledge, and then also with determination. And at least then we have to, of course, even by our own endeavor it is not possible, but we have to cry out to Guru, Gauranga, and Krishna to help us. And one has to be ultimately engaged in spiritual activities, and one has to get a higher taste. If one has a higher taste, ruchi, if one is engaged in spiritual activities and one is taking pleasure in that, then one can give up the lower taste, sense gratification. So by serving Krishna, giving pleasure to Krishna's senses, and then automatically one is satisfied. And then one can give up the lower taste, the taste of this material world. So, but for that we have to be constantly engaged in spiritual activities. We have to hear about Mahaprabhu, about Krishna from the devotees. We have to speak about Krishna. And especially we have to chant the holy names, the Yugadama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And one has to be engaged in practical devotional service. In the conditioned state especially, it is important to worship the deities and establish our relationship with Krishna, with Mahaprabhu. And one has to have a relationship with the representative of the Lord, the pure devotee, and the devotees in general. And this way, one will be able to overcome the lower modes of this material world. By endeavoring from our part, but by taking shelter of Guru, Gauranga, and Krishna, and begging their help, Hari Guru Vaishnav. Alone it is not possible. By the mercy of Shyam Hari Krishna, Gaura Hari, Mahaprabhu, the spiritual master, the Vaishnavas, we can be successful in our search for the absolute truth, in our endeavor to please the Supreme Lord, in our endeavor to make more and more advancement in spiritual life. So constant practice is required, and one has to try to be detached from this material world. By constant practice, then one can be successful. Despite all difficulties, we have to continue. The modes of material nature, the material mind and senses are very strong. Always trying to disturb the conditioned soul. So, but one has to be fixed, one has to be enthusiastic, and one has to cry out for help. Then one is able to overcome this material existence. And by the mercy of the Lord, one can be situated on the spiritual platform. And then, so by practice it is possible, but then we have to try to remain on the spiritual platform and not fall down again on the material platform. It is a gradual process. By doing this every day, month after month, year after year, then we can see also the modes of material nature. We can understand the actions of our own mind, impelled by the modes of material nature, and then with knowledge and being properly situated on the spiritual platform, understanding that we are the eternal servant of Krishna. So we can learn to deal with this material world and try to remain aloof from the influence of modern material nature. The more one is advanced, the more one is successful, and one can remain on the spiritual platform and take pleasure in that. But there's always danger in this material world, and one has to be careful. Otherwise, again, one may fall under the influence of the lower modes especially, which is detrimental. So one has to try to see that one can be the mode of goodness and that one can become transcendently situated. But it takes time to be completely free from the modes of material nature. But at least we should try to see that we can be most of the time in the mode of goodness. Because from the mode of goodness, then we can come to the transcendental plane. So if we are practicing and we are habituated, then we can be successful and become more and more transcendently situated. And ultimately, by the causeless mercy of the Lord, we can become completely free. And that is the perfection of life, to be completely free from modes of material nature, situated on the spiritual plane, platform, atma tattva. So the consideration of the absolute truth. And then we are connected to Krishna, param tattva. And so that is the goal of life. And Krishna, so he's giving in these instructions to Arjuna, because he was put into illusion actually by Krishna himself, by Krishna's energy, so that the conditioned soul may inquire about the absolute truth, so that the conditioned soul may hear from Krishna, Krishna's representative, or read the Bhagavad Gita, and by reading Bhagavad Gita one can come to understand everything. But especially by the mercy of the pure devotees. So if the purport is not there to the shlokas, if the purport is not there of the pure devotee, then a common man, ordinary person, will not be able to fully understand the Bhagavad Gita. He will not be able to understand. He will not know how to surrender to Krishna. But a pure devotee, he will explain what Krishna has said. He will show how to surrender. As Krishna is saying to Arjuna, sarva dharman parijajya mamekam sharanam bhaja am tam sarva papyebhyo mukshayishyami āśucaha. Give up all kind of so-called religious world of this world, and you just do what I want you to do. And then you become freed from sinful reaction. So you do not worry. So if you are trying to surrender to Krishna, then Krishna will reciprocate and he will help us. So we are fortunate to be in Braj. Because in Braj, Krishna performed his pastimes. And there are so many temples in Vrindavan, in Braj, and we can take darshan. In this way our consciousness is fixed, our consciousness is purified. We can go and see the holy places here in Braj, and we can hear about the different pastimes of Krishna in Braj. And we have to try to be absorbed in that. That is real life. To have Krishna in the center and to hear about Krishna, speak about Krishna, remember Krishna, and then pray that we can ultimately also join Krishna's pastimes. Pray that we can remember him in our conditioned state as much as possible. So we have to pray. We have to cry for the mercy, because by our own endeavor it is not possible. We must endeavor We must endeavor very nicely. But without the mercy, without the grace, kripa of the Supreme Lord, it is not possible to advance in spiritual life. But sincere and serious endeavor must be there. And then we will get the mercy of the Lord. So that is sure. Krishna is very merciful, so we should try our best. And Krishna does the rest. Hare Krishna, any question? Hare Krishna, so we can all get some Mahaprasad. Srila Prabhupada ki